What the hell is up, America and the rest of the world? We're going to be looking at JujiK versus Kenoli in a 3-game set. These two players are also in the Acropolis 2 Gauntlet, and I wanted to preview more of our lower table homies, like the ones that are in the kiddies table, obviously. No, like just the newer players, the noober players, however you want to describe that. I'm expecting interesting things. I think both of these guys could theoretically, and maybe in quite reality, actually get some wins. So let's see just how good they really are. Starting off on Decapitation, a 4-spawn map, we've got Kenoli in the top left as the... I just guessed... I misguessed pumpkin for Vivid Orange. I think this is actually Vivid Orange. It was pumpkin again. And Kenoli in the bottom right as the... is this silver pink? It is. Protoss in the bottom right. Okay, so we're looking at cross spawns on a 4-spawn map. So I'm sure this will end in a total disaster with some kind of 7-pool shenanigans or something, but I say that and we already have an 8th worker just about to pop. So I guess that can't be the case. It simply cannot be. But is Kenoli thinking about that fast pool? He's going for Vespine, so I'm guessing not. Maybe it's going to be like a hatch into Den or something like that. I have been really enjoying hatch into Larvosk into pool. But that was even before the pool changes that came in recently where units from the pool cost less minerals, which I think is very cool. At least, I mean, it's not all units, but it's like, you know, some units. That being said, we do have Kenoli banking up that money. What's he going to be doing with that money? It's going to be a hatch in the main base. Okay, so this is a school of thought that some Zerg players ascribe to, where they believe that it's a good idea to... What's he got? 95 gas. What's he doing with that? Is that a Den opener? 75 gas for the Den. Okay, I guess that's what it is. But pool in the main base means that you're safer with extra larva. Pool in the natural obviously means that you get faster expansion timing and stuff, but you might... that's usually for like rushing a lot of extra Vespine or something like that. And if you just decide to go no hatch, you go straight into pool, or you go Larvosk or whatever, that's just like a more gas-centric version of it. Second gateway on the way. First gateway already making a Dracodon. Interesting, if you go back and study this gateway timing from JujiK, I feel like I've been watching a lot of Dead Infested games recently. He seems to go like gateway into gateway, and then his second gateway... It looked like JujiK made Pylon Gate and then made his first unit before he made the second gate, or like his second gate went down as his first gate finished or something like that. The timing seems different anyway. It might be interesting to look at that and see what the results are. Second hatch now complete, and the Den as well, slithering up into our ears. Dracodon now complete as well, so we are going to see that worker be slain. No burrow for good old Kenoli. Holy Kenoli, boys. And maybe his real life name is Ken, and that's why he's named Kenoli. You know what I'm saying? Going to be a couple of Izira cores out to dissuade move-outs. It doesn't actually look like JujiK wants to move out, though. Interesting. Definitely can go for that natural expansion sometime soon. Oh, 1 base Ardent. Okay. I think this will be an Acantor. We'll find out, because usually what I say when I see the Ardent Authority, the Protoss is either going Acantor, in which case you'll see an Embassy add-on, because you want the Envoy transport, right? And then if they're not doing that, then they might be going Architect. I don't know that you want to go Architect versus Zerg. And I also don't remember if the worker came in. I think the worker came in and saw the Den being made. That's interesting. Triple hatch in 1 base. What is Kenoli cooking, dude? Kenoli's got some different ideas coming up there. Gonna go ahead and try to take the temple. By the way, one of the things that I should definitely do at some point is like make custom tiles where like the coloration of the crushed rock is red instead of not red. And the reason I'm saying that is because I think it would be really cool to have that be like the subtle thematic of like this temple runs red, you know, like that's the sort of thing. Now, I don't think if you're in Kenoli's shoes, you actually want to just charge in here with your early units. That does not seem like a good idea. By the way, I'm pretty sure that Izira core would have died if the Hydra didn't take some of the damage. That's kind of interesting. You burrow and you regenerate twice as fast. That's another thing that Zerg players can use. And it is going to be the Acantor. You can tell because the Acantor is being made, but you can also tell because the Embassy was being put down. 1 base, Acantor drop. JujiK kind of going, I wouldn't say necessarily all in, but this is a very aggro opener here, right? So it does need to fall back with those Izira cores. You can see that one ends up getting absolutely bodied. Going to take his natural now, but we need to see like Mass Hydra, and he spent a lot of larva on workers. You can see now he's oversaturated his mineral line in the main, so that's why he wants the natural expansion, but it's kind of coming at a bad time. He doesn't have the opportunity to spread any circuits or anything like that down there. He definitely has, so no static defense opportunities, really. And so he's going to go ahead and try to drop it right there way back, because he's very, very desperate for it. Adding more and more Izira cores. He's not really going to have much of a defense for the inevitable Akantor, which he was not able to scout. I think when you scout no natural that late into the game, you got to be expecting some kind of cheese. Doesn't look like Kenoli was exactly expecting that, but we do have the what looks to be the Envoy moving across the map right now. No, there's another one. I guess that just must be a ground unit, as Envoy just finished back in JujiK's home base. Just kind of posturing here. Still not that many Hydralisks being made by Kenoli. He's going to try to camp on top of the eggs here so that he can save those units and actually use them versus the Protoss. The Ecclesiast adding a lot of value versus the Izira cores, but slowly but surely those Zealots are being brought on down. I love using the cliff advantage there. That definitely helps out a little bit. Kenoli is massively, massively understated when it comes to his military force. He's also, he's got less workers, but JujiK is like mostly wasting his worker count right now. He's been pumping out a lot of workers, but he's not actually going to be transferring anytime soon. He's just now put his Nexus down. He's on a 75-second timer before he can actually mine with those workers, during which time, if Kenoli can stay alive, well, that's a big if, because obviously the Akantor Envoy is on the way, and Kenoli feels pressured to push back, probably because he made all of these military units, right? But he has no Hydra. I guess he has 3 Hydras down in the natural, but he's going to pull those away. Yeah, this is looking very, very rough. I don't know how you can really sense that this kind of thing is on the way. When the Akantor actually lands and JujiK sees all of the workers being made, he's probably very happy with this position. You know, he's like, oh, hell yeah, you just made a round of workers, dude. You're letting my boy feast. And, you know, the army is not coming back. You have to pull the army back in this situation. I know it sucks, but I'm pretty sure that's the only thing that you can do. Putting down some Kagrins, those are going to get blown up by the Akantor. Actually, it's targeting the hatch right now, and JujiK might not correct that. He might have to cancel his Nexus, which would be pretty bad for him as well. So maybe Kenoli can actually stay in the game. But if he loses this military force, it's going to be really, really bad. These units never got actually turned into anything, so those are not static defense units actually right now. The Izira cores really should be stepping a little bit closer so they can spread their damage out. And some of the Hydras are actually attacking the Nexus. That was a big misfire from Kenoli. A couple more workers might end up being bopped here by the hero Akantor. Yeah, I like attacking the Envoy just to move it out of the way because it wasn't on hold pause, but as of right now, he is going to end up losing his sole defender, which is this Hydralisk. His soul burns and then explodes. And at this point, I think it's taken way too much damage, and Kenoli needs to go back to the micro map. Because, you know, that's not really a micro arena, is it? That's like impossible scenarios. Shout out to anybody who knows impossible scenarios from the way back. That shit is that used to be my jam. I used to make those and also play them, obviously. But yeah, way back it when. That's what that is. A Protoss enemy is lackadaisically dropping you with an Akantor. You must survive with one Hydralisk. Dodge, dodge. I love the Burrow Hydra over here as well. Actually, there's a couple of them. That's not bad. But he has no static defense. He is making more workers. He's about to get A-moved by all the Drakidans, I feel like. I feel like that hammer could fall at any time. JujiK has pulled his saturation over, adding a Crucible. I don't really like that placement. I don't even know if it reaches the Ardent, but if it does, it's brilliant. But if it doesn't, you goofball. Definitely wants to push the Droleth count up in the main base. It's just he also has to defend versus the Akantor. Most of his defense is down here. Like, if you have the Spraith already, I don't think you should actually have most of the Hydras here, because you're over-indexing on defense there, and then what if they attack you in the main? What if that Akantor comes back to its old stomping grounds? Worker Scout getting absolutely shellacked, and Akantor has crawled all the way across the map. I can't believe you would make that fat boy walk that fast. That's crazy. All right, the Akantor has been sighted, at least by one Hydralisk, but not by Kenoli himself. Kenoli will only see it now. Kenoli will see it now. There we go. Yeah, get him. Wait, no, get the Akantor. It's got 21 kills. You gotta get it. Oh my god, it's gonna get away with 8 health. Or is it? Is it really? Oh, it actually got the unload. Anyway, the front gate's getting killed by Drakidans. I think JujiK's about to walk away with this game. GG is called, the drops being too much, and Kenoli still figuring out what a good move-out time is. I think maybe if his third hatch was in his natural, we would have seen something a little bit better. Because if his third hatch was in the nat, he'd have the Kager up already. He'd be able to put down the static defense. He probably wouldn't be able to be losing too many units on the hold, and he would have kept that economic tempo going. Presumably, that would have just stopped JujiK from attacking in entirely. If you see static defense, you're probably not going to commit to the attack. So he would have kept his economy going a little bit more, but he also, I don't know how he would have then responded to the Acantor. I think, like, I'm trying to imagine seeing it from his perspective. How would you expect an Acantor drop to be on the menu? It's just that Protoss has such a wide range of possibilities that they can go for. To me, I think when you scout no natural, you must assume something cheesy is going on, and you can defeat that cheese if you play not necessarily safe, just conservative with your units. If you keep your army mostly at home, you invest your army early on into challenging the Protoss' ground game, knowing that they are going to be behind economically, and you droll up, you get up to all your workers, I think that can go a long way. Let's move on to game number 2 in this set. All right, ladies and gentlemen, while the previous game was indeed on a map that might not be very Zerg favored, this one is Checkstealer, and JujiK in the top right as the silver-pink Protoss, with Kenoli in the bottom right as the pumpkin Zerg. Must be a preferred color. This is a bug, by the way. I don't know why the Kagra actually spread, but the good news is it probably won't matter. The reason why I say it probably won't matter is because the only thing it allows is Zerg to build. It doesn't stop you from building in Cosmonarchy. The only thing that would stop it from building is if you, you can't build on hostile Kagra. But if it's generated by a neutral Kagra generator, you can build on it. So, or an allied one, right? Neutral is considered an ally for most mechanics. Like being able to jump into the anchors, being able to, garrison certain things or what have you. Hatch first for Kenoli, not a surprise. Going up to that den opening. You know, this is on the patch that has the faster, or the cheaper pool units. It doesn't look like Kenoli really wants to mess around with them, though. Don't you know you can get a pair of Zeths for 25 minerals? Don't you understand? Box scout from JujiK, so he's going to scout his opponent last. Yeah, I guess at some point, I got to, move these sprites over or something, because they spread Kagra no matter what now. I don't know what's up with that. That's weird. But the whole mechanic was weird. The idea that it would just hook on normally, or whatever. But only if you have a hatch there. Very strange. I wonder if maybe it's detecting a hatch anywhere, and it's like, yeah, let me spread that Kagra. Silly. Anyway, despite that, we do have JujiK going to go ahead and find his opponent now that he's moving off the beaten path, and Kenoli is actually cross-scouting. I almost pinged the map. Kenoli is cross-scouting. Okay, so we're going to have a 2-gate opener for JujiK. Not actually going for an expansion, 3-gate opener. He just wants to run his opponent over. That's basically what he wants to do here. Den opening does mean, in my opinion, most likely what we're going to see here is that we're going to see a zero core open once again. And that actually is going to be okay versus the gateway focus. So, just worth pointing out there. I wonder if maybe JujiK was concerned about a 6 pool or something like that, like an early pool, super early pool. That's why I went gate into Ecclesiast, but second gate I think just makes sense in the matchup overall. But I think you could just wall. You could just put a pylon here, gate, or pylon off to the side and then double gate and then kind of block the rest of it with a couple of units or something. So that actually should probably be meta in this matchup, especially if you're suspecting early aggro, because you can kind of throw down you push down the range that your opponent actually has to heckle you. So anyway, I just feel like maybe pointing that out wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, does Kenoli decide to start building a circuit? No, it doesn't look like he's even going to respond in time. He's going to get bopped. Hydra's moving around towards the bottom left. Yeah, this that Kagra spread thing didn't actually always used to happen, so it's really throwing me off. I wonder what's up with that. Don't worry, we'll do some testing and fix it. That's what we do here in Cosmonarchy, in the No Frauds Club. It's funny that he's posturing with the Hydras, but has the Azir cores more pulled back. Usually that's the inverse of what you would do. Ecclesiasts are going to run down here and be revealed. It's actually just straight up mass Ecclesiast. I think if you counter this with a bunch of Izzies and a good number of Hydras, you're basically fine. Equal resources, the Zerg army actually wins, which is not normally what you can say about the Zerg army. So just figured I'd throw that one out there. Maybe that's actually not true, thinking about this is 50-50, 50 minerals, 50 gas, whereas the Azir core is, I think, 100 minerals, and the Hydra is 75-25. So yeah, there might actually be more resources, all things considered. Next is coming up here for JujiK. Still no third base for Kenoli. Pretty low worker count for now, but you can always change that later on as Zerg. I'd love to see him move these Azir cores further down with the rest of his army. He's kind of posturing aggressively. It's straight up a ball of Ecclesiasts right now. And he doesn't have the... Okay, he's going to try to melee range him, right? And then you speed up when you lose the first Ecclesiast, so when that dies, that happens. I think as Kenoli, putting down another Circuit makes sense. You can't kill him with this army unless he really the Zerg overextends, right? So from JujiK's perspective, this is like a containment army / maybe him just trolling and being like, I wonder what happens if. I don't actually think this is very good, but I can see the idea of like if your opponent doesn't have enough resources or enough damage, I guess, to really heavily push you down, then the Azera cores are going to be more of a liability because they're going to allow for shield regen. Second Nexus going to be put down over here, I guess third Nexus, right? Third base coming up at relatively similar time frames for both players, actually, so that's kind of funny. Up it goes. This one about to finish. Get to hear the lovely sounds. It's probably hard to hear, but it's the which should now be an emoji name. Okay, so we do have an extra hatch coming for Kenoli. I would love to see him have, like, just more workers at this point and maybe, like, 1 or 2 more circuits, because he's not in any danger right now from the Ecclesiast Ball. He wants to see about charging forward and maybe hemorrhaging it a little bit. He's gotten a little bit too close for comfort, in my opinion. He's trying to just do the spread damage with the Azera cores, but you can do that without putting the Hydras right into harm's way. And so, yeah, he did all that to kill 3 Ecclesiasts. Definitely not cost efficient. And, you know, I think he's in real danger of dying. He might get run over by the Ecclesiast Ball. We might be saying GG go next. Well, boys, Kenoli is about to get rolled up and cream frosting or cream icing filling. I think that's what it is. I don't remember. I don't eat sweets, dude. Get it out of here. Goodbye. With that, we move on to the final game of our set. And we're going to close things out on Near Impact. JujiK, the maker of this map, is the Silver Pink Protoss in the top left. He's actually harvesting... Oh, no. Yeah, he's harvesting gas right away. I wonder what that's about. Maybe he's going to open Lattice. Kenoli in the bottom right as the Pumpkin Zerg. He really likes himself some pumpkin. I guess you can say that I had 50% color guess accuracy on this series, even though I guessed Kenoli correctly the subsequent 2 times, because really it's the first time that counts if the color doesn't change. It's not really a guess if you know that it's a repeating color or whatever. So, whatever. I'll take points away from myself because I'm cool like that, dude. I recognize real life. I recognize reality, okay? Now, let me just go ahead and tell you guys about coffee. You can donate on coffee.com/Had to take a sip. Interrupt the Shillus Maximus. Kenoli, you are 8-pooling, my dude. Oh, never mind. He's got a hatch coming. I don't know why I thought he was 8-pooling. I just saw nothing, and I was like, what's up with that? All right, so the first gate is on the... Oh, no, it's a lattice, right? That's right. Makes sense. JujiK was harvesting gas this whole time. I wonder if is he going to go double lattice? I haven't seen Protoss actually go lattice openers. I know that it has happened. I just haven't seen it. I guess once every cast over, I should probably mention that Hit 'em Up doesn't post his replays. So, there's not really any reason I'm telling you guys that. He just doesn't post his replays. He's definitely not going to do this versus every Zerg player. Wink. No, he actually probably won't. He does like his Gateway Ape Toss. I feel very bad for whoever rolls Hit 'em Up's Protoss. Like, I think anybody who does that is just going to get absolutely shellacked. I know that people were saying that maybe his ZVZ might not be good. At least he was saying he thinks other people think that about his ZVZ. I actually don't know what his ZVZ would be like. He doesn't seem to like ZVZ, but I don't think that really matters too much. Like, you can actually be really good at a matchup that you're not really super fond of, just because maybe you don't like the playstyle or whatever. ZVZ seems really fun in Cosmonarchy. I don't know. I enjoy it. I enjoyed playing versus Gerald with it pretty recently. All right, it's a double lattice into a gateway. So this is going to be a really late expo for JujiK. The worker is going to come very late for Kenoli. He obviously had a more, I guess you could say, like a more resource, like greedy-oriented build order. He's going to come out here and see, okay, you've got double lattice, you're making idols. So he should be aware of the potential for Vassal, but I'm not sure that he's actually going to do that. So let's see. Making 4 pairs of Zeths. Remember, they are 25 minerals apiece. That's right. He just spent 100 minerals on 8 Zethar cores. Check that out. Kagrant for anti-air. The one Vassal might get a lot of damage. We're going to have to wait and see about that. So the one time that Kenoli goes pool, JujiK also opens with splash damage. I just wanted to point that one out. I feel like that's almost BM or something. All right, the Vassal's going to come out in for a scout. It's just one Vassal. You can deal with that. Okay, so he's got his Zeths kind of lined up here. And as soon as he sees the vassal, he's like, oh, okay, bye. I'm just going to move across the map. I actually don't hate this idea. You go for the counterattack with the Zets as soon as you see one vassal. I mean, it might technically be dangerous. Like, what if JujiK's army was pocketed over here? But he's got the one Circuith. He's got more units coming. And actually, the vassal doesn't even go for any harassment, so I feel like a bit of a missed opportunity there for JujiK, but we do have pairs of Quasilisks about to hatch. Those are only 50 minerals now instead of 75, so... Zets are going to start to see if they can make it up the ramp. Answer is not. Hierophant slows them down. Idols splash him down. Might get one idol here. Yeah, looks like he's going to be good enough at dealing with that. I mean, again, that was 100 minerals, boys. He spent 100 minerals to kill one idol, which is, I think, 100 minerals and 50 gas or something like that. Maybe it was 75 minerals, 50 gas. I can't remember off the dome. And it was 100 minerals and 50 gas. So that was actually a cost-efficient trade. That might not look like it, but that was a cost-efficient trade, dude. That's hot. Cosmonarchy Zerg is epic. It would be really funny if we revert that change beforehand, but I don't think we will. It's really cool, man. I actually really like the idea of 8 Zethicores being 100 minerals. So I don't know what this like weird surround burrow trap thing is with the Quasilisks, but I dig it. I mean, if it works out, it's just that I think if you like walk in at a weird, at like a just like straight up this angle, that might obviously deflate it because you reveal burrowed units when you step on them in Cosmonarchy. So, aha, a battle worker. Never mind. He reconsidered his life choices. Quasis are going to go ahead and see what's up over here. Get slapped. It's actually going to make Kenoli maybe a bit more comfy that the JujiK army is kind of positioned over here. And, you know... Oh, never mind. Going in an uncomfier area. Yeah, okay, he's moving those Quasis out. It actually makes a lot of sense here. He's putting a lot of effort into this burrow trap, and so far it's actually working out. I remember there was a meta in the last major tournament, Acropolis 1, and like a little bit leading up to it as well, where Protoss would go for Embassy so that they could get a witness to reveal the burrowed units. Like, Zerg were actually really heavily using it. So it would be really awesome if that ends up being a thing again. Let's see. JujiK going to try to move out. This is going to aggro a lot of his units. Let's see what happens. He's going to charge in with the Zets, and as soon as the Zets take contact, the rest of the Quasis unburrow from behind, absolutely demolishing those idols. Oh my god, he's actually going to get most of them, if not all of them here. Yeah, look at that. Absolutely shredded, and he's still got so many Quas. What is that, 20 Quas? He's got more back at home, total of 28, but is he going to be able to bust the Matrix with only those? I think he needs Zeths. He really desperately needs Zeths to actually do anything too dangerous here. But he could just take this effort and opportunity and droll up, take another expansion, maybe 2 expansions, like double expand off of this, make a lot of workers, and just kind of sit here and contain, right? Because you're not going to bust the matrixes. You're not going to bust those with Quas. So the third one even being put down. You know your opponent's invested a lot into the defenses. Those are not cheap structures. So yeah, I think in this position you can just be really pleased with the performance of your burrow trap. And you can maybe set up a burrow trap right outside his base and see if we can rope-a-dope him twice. Pretty sick stuff. More workers on the way. Kenoli is taking a third base. I love what he's doing here. I think this is perfect. Like, again, I said double expand, but still, like, there's a couple of angles you could go. You could try to bust with a lot of extra Zeths, or you could just set up a contain, which is exactly what Kenoli is doing here. I really, really think this is a great move. Like, good stuff here. Let's see what he can do. I'm being very, like, this might not seem like rocket science or whatever, and I don't think it is. I think it's, like, self-evidently a really good move, but to see a player like, you know, a newer player like Kenoli do that is very exciting. I think that's a great move. He's even saturating his gas. He's actually, saturating the, oh, he could saturate the, no, there we go. He's got it. He's got everything under control. He's just missing one guy on the ridge there, and that's it. So, yeah, he's doing well. He's going to go for tier 2. He's just hit the break point now. Where's he going to do it? Where's he going to put it? Who's he going to do it with? I don't know what happened to all the workers over here, by the way. I think he transferred all of them or something. He's only now caught up in worker count, and it looks like Kenoli will be tested on the military pretty soon, which, if it happens, I don't know. Is he going to be able to bulk up? I love that he's put a bunch of units scouting across the other bases. This also kind of watches for drops and stuff. Okay, he sees like the complexion of the Protoss army hasn't really shifted. Now we're going to get an embassy, a 4th gate coming. Trying to power up on these 2 bases for JujiK. Tier 2 nearly complete, or Kenoli. I'd say nearly. It's like halfway done. And yeah, he's starting to droll up. But you can see Kenoli really having the contain sort of threatened. I do like he's pulling back on the extremities just a little bit. just slowly widening that net. Like, yeah, okay, sure, you can come out a little bit more or whatever, you can posture, but not completely abandoning it. I see this happen a lot on the lower levels where a contain will be set up and then like it kind of gets like some slight pushback and then the guy just leaves. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe you could lose a lot of units, or maybe you could just kind of let it happen a little bit, you know? Like, especially with these units are super cheap now. Kenoli can afford to just kind of let a little bit of them go. And I love even further pocketing some quads up here and then just like seeing if you can walk in. I mean, obviously with the matrices, it's going to be a taller order, but you walk in with like 12 quads, you can actually just walk right past the matrix and then start heckling the workers or whatever, force a pullback. That could be a real move. You know, this worker over here at, or the quads at 9 o'clock even scouts where the army is going, and you know, okay, maybe my opponent wants to expand again soon. Setting up static defense, he's got the Chokol Chazal, or no, the Alkagita. The Chokol Chazal is coming up tier 3 structure, so he definitely doesn't have that coming. The progenitor of the Chokol Chazal is on the way. Here it is. I was a little bit off on the timing, I apologize. And yeah, you know, these units getting cleaned out. Just confirming that his opponent's army is mostly across the map. I would have loved to see upgrading the pool. He's got so much money. Upgrading the pool here makes a lot of sense. You still have so many quads. Now he's going to charge in and maybe force a cancel on some of this stuff. He's only got the one Zet. Oh, he's got a couple more Zets coming in. Yeah, I'd love to see him maybe cancel the Nexus here. Yep, nice. Perfect stuff here. Yeah, so JujiK kind of has to do that because he will end up losing the Zets. He does at the very least confirm that he's killed most of the Protoss, the Zerg army. I do like Kenoli trying to set up a burrow trap further down or whatever. I'm sure the Witness caught that. 10 Invigrilisks on the way, 3 Almaxilisks. That's not going to be a lot of damage, though. Kenoli has had you know, some success with Invigrilisks. I feel like they're more about durability than they are about damage. Like, it says 32 damage, but that's 4 times 8, and it's, while they're moving, it's 8 damage for up to 4 targets or whatever. While they're standing still, it's a single target channel attack or whatever. Oh, these are not evolved defenses. Otherwise, this would never be broken, basically. But you know what? In conjunction with the static defense, I think the Evigs are going to be okay. You can see most of these idols are kind of like getting caught up over here. I love that there's a manifold still with this army. Those kind of need to be focused down, I feel like, by JujiK's forces. He still is in a very threatening position here because he has all of this ground army that he's been able to put together. Kenoli does like the Alkagiteth, but I do think that he kind of skimped on the tier 2 defenses. He definitely did not upgrade his pool for Lyrilisks. That would have been a huge boon. The Almax are really good. They're like flying Hydras in some ways, right? And there's not that much splash damage anymore. There are a couple of idols left over, but they're kind of being absorbed by a lot of the other units, right? He needs more Invigrilisks for splash damage, or for, I guess, like damage absorption, what have you. Circus falling. Not ideal right now. Maybe snipe the Manifold to reduce the armor pen even further, but yeah, it's looking like a tight squeeze. Maybe the Zets can help a little bit. I just feel like again, the splash damage of the idols is going to start to really run amok. Oh, a bunch of those Almacs not actually attacking. They were on a rally. I feel like actually JujiK just barely has enough, and yeah, GG has to be called, but honestly, dude, that was a sick game by Kenoli. He had such a great idea for so much of that, and even though JujiK takes all the games, spiritually he won that last game. He didn't actually follow up on the tier 2 fast enough. I think the move to go to tier 2 was fine. You could also have done a move where you go for like Zorkiz or Hydrith and you just evolve those, you know, the Den, or you evolve the pool into the pond, or whatever you do. Like, you could have done so many things there, but I really think that the slam dunk move with least changes to his game plan was just, as soon as tier 2 finish, yeah, go ahead, get your ETETH up, but also upgrade your pool. Dude, you go straight to that lake. You will love it. You'll have Lyrilisks. They will absolutely shellac the Zerg army, and you know, it's a great idea. It's just a slam dunk idea. That was a cool set of games. Hope you like those PVZs. We just saw some TVPs earlier. I'll see if I can get some ZVTs up next for you guys out there at home wondering what the complexion of Acropolis 2 is going to look like. GG boys, we'll be back with more Cosmonarchy very soon.